GM friends, and thanks for joining DeFi's TA Tuesday call. As a member of the server, you can join our calls every week at 12 p.m. Mountain Time, request chart reviews, and we will check them out in the call. For today, we'll review charts for Dork, Arbitrum, Pancake Swap, Blur.io, Bitcoin, ETH, and Total 3. For legacy markets, S&P 500, Dow Jones Industrial, NASDAQ, Dollar Index, US 10-year bonds, and gold. And with that, over to Eddie.
All right. First of all, hopefully everyone had a good week. Market's been a lot of fun. I've had a lot of good trades going on. First, we want to look at Dork Coin, launched by the Senior Peters F, or SR Peters F on Twitter, accompanying the NFT collections. Serious ups and downs with this coin in the last 48 hours. Launched Halloween, coming into an important level. It was so hard to chart when there's not a whole lot of volume on them. Let's see what we got here. So there's this low that has been run. So you could just, depending on risk tolerance, buy now and get out if we lose this low. But the problem I don't like about that is it's into this little demand zone and into that one too. I think the best strategy for this bad boy is buy a little bit now, save ammo if we get into here, and a little bit more if we get into here. And if you lose that, it's going to zero, right? But decent reaction so far. So I think it's not bad to punt in here, maybe 20% of your position and then be fully filled if it gets all the way down there. All right, that's Dork. Moving on, let's look at ARB. ARB has been one of my main focuses this last week. I think it gave a 20% move or something too last week. So let's see if we go last Monday. Let's just say you got in somewhere around here. Gave a pretty good balanced 20% last week. And the entire market is pulling back right now, which is really good. Exactly what you want to see. I'm actually have a current, so I fully exited it right around here. And I have new bids going in. Looking at this level now, and basically I have bids throughout this entire box with a soft stop of getting out if we start to lose that. I think I've talked about it before, but I like to use something I learned from someone called Daily Trend. It's EMA 13, 25, and 30. And I think this lines up perfectly with the daily trend. So ARB is looking pretty good. Basically, what I want to see happen is it to just fill in this box, right? Do that stuff in here and then go is what I want to happen. And then if you were to zoom out and look up, basically, we rejected from this little resistance zone here. Oops, we rejected from that. I'm hoping that it flips it. And ideally, I want to see these highs get ran, these ones. So that's the plan for ARB, is I'm going to be buying throughout this entire box. Manual close if we get daily closes below this area. Aiming for this high first and these ones next. If it starts to show weakness again in this resistance, then take your profit whenever you're happy. But I think ARB can keep going pretty higher. If you look at it on an even higher time frame, let me check to see if there's any more data anywhere else really quick on Binance. I basically have the exact same setup there though. But you can also look that it's hold on, I don't like that one. This one's better. I basically reclaimed these lows like a nice little deviation. So ideally it got rejected by mid-range and it should go to range high. So that's the plan. So far, I've been really in tune with ARB, so I think you can put some size into that and feel comfy about it. It's throughout this entire zone. All right, next one is Cake. I've heard some people getting excited about Cake. Maybe there's like a bot or something that they put out. I don't know. Some of my shitcoin friends were really excited about Cake again. And I guess for good reason, it's been going up.
Yeah, they have a grant program that was announced yesterday. That's going to allow Cake holders to in liquidity and decentralized decision making. So that's pretty decent news.
Yeah, so you guys are the smart people. That's obviously bullish, and the market's reacting really nicely to it. I swear there's a chart that is better with Cake though. Maybe it's just the spot chart. Yeah, here we go. So let's see what we got going on with this bad boy. TZ putting in work, right? Which, speaking of BNB, looks really good too. So rejecting off that low. If it reclaims that, you've got pretty clear skies up to these highs up here, I would say. Here, I'll do it like this instead. Because basically you have these highs right here, and then you also have these ones right here. So if you can get some closes above here, maybe like a 4-hour close above this area, if it starts to retest it, those are your targets. And you would just have your invalidation with whatever the new low that forms here. I imagine that this won't dip too hard with that news. It almost even looks like it's reversing now. Oops, wrong button. You have an hourly bullish divergence playing out too. So it could be the trade right now, honestly. Just long it with a stop right here for like really crazy good R if you're into that kind of stuff. And take one at 3.5 and see if you caught the last dip before the run. I might take that, honestly, at least a little bit. And then if that doesn't work out, this zone down here looks like it's to be tagged. So this is a good trade because of that, because if it doesn't work out, you're going to be coming down here anyway. And then I'd be looking for something to set up in this zone. So 3 ideas. 1 now, small size. You can size up a little bit more if it gets down here. It could even tag down here as well too. So it's hard to call like a stop loss for it now until you see some lows get formed. And then the other trade is that breakout trade that I was talking about. But it looks really good. I think you'll get a lot of time to get in if it does do those closes above too, because this is pretty good resistance. Yeah, some 4-hour closes and a retest would be nice, or dropping down to here would also be really good. And then the gamble play is this one. I think it's a gamble though, because I think Bitcoin and Ethereum want to trade lower. We'll look at those here in a second. Moving on to Blur. I guess I went out of order. I usually do Bitcoin first, but I've been only trading altcoins. Bitcoin's like doing nothing. So Blur. Price is up over 120% in the past 30 days with season 2 of airdrop rewards starting November 20th. I wonder if that will heat up the NFT market too, if they're doing new airdrops. So like a beta play to this could even be looks maybe, but maybe not if it's only related to Blur. Anyways, so it looks like it's slowing down a bit. It's in this obvious resistance zone here, right? I could draw it out for you. We're right into it. 4-hour, it looks like it's going to do that whole Bart Simpson thing and come back down. I'm not keen on shorting right now though. I'd rather just buy pullbacks. It's just easier in my opinion just to focus on one side of the trade. Like you don't need to be in every single trade. So this should pull back. Let's make some plans. Blur. The easy trade is for it to pull back into here. If you can get that with your stop loss being right here, that's the easiest trade you can get. I bet you it lines up with the daily trend too. Kinda. It's a little bit lower. So I wouldn't leave blind bids on this because this is telling me that it could trade into this, and I was looking at that level too, but it should definitely pull back. So you want to it's a wide zone, but you want to just be looking into this entire zone here for any bullish actions to happen. I could see this level holding up though, but I could also see a scam wick down here. So I would definitely play it with a soft stop. And as far as upside targets go, you have to respect this level. Maybe even start scaling out once you hit this high right here and this one here. Or actually, no, we already took in liquidity on this one. So anywhere between that, you'd have to be getting out and then look for a new trade if it reclaims. But still, it's a pretty good one. It should pull back and then you can get back in. I could definitely see this happening. Looks good though. The whole market looks good. Good for upside. Okay, Bitcoin. So DeFi-Logic's current scalp strategy is crushing Bitcoin 16 for 16. That's really badass. TradingView indicator will be available for community members in the Discord coming soon. So if you're not in, join. Bitcoin's still doing what I've been talking about for like the past 2 streams, I feel like. I'm still just waiting for this level to get ran. I haven't been focused on this at all for good reason too. Altcoins have been flying. This is one of those things too. A lot of traders will say like Bitcoin is the king, and it is, but you need to realize that when it's consolidating, that means it's altcoin time. So basically we still just want these lows to get ran. They haven't hit yet, and there's a lot of them. If we get sweeps into it, you just buy everything. You mortgage the house even. And if you're wrong, I didn't say that. But looking for these lows to get ran still. Ethereum, I think, is the better one. So I've been watching this for, 3 streams now? And I've been saying, hey, this is going to reverse soon. This is going to reverse soon. We have this daily bullish divergence forming, and it has formed and played out, and now it's rejecting off the 50s. Pullbacks are for buying on Ethereum and in altcoins. I'm really not even focused on buying Bitcoin at all, just Ethereum and altcoins. So we'll see what happens here. It may pull back a little bit more, but it's looking decent. Yeah, it should come down a little bit more. Maybe into this level right here, E315. think that will get tagged for sure, which means what's the play here? Because nobody really trades it that way anymore. I don't think we'll retrace this low anymore. I wouldn't be planning on this level to hold anymore either. It did give a good trade though, initially. So the idea of it flipping this high did play out already over the weekend. And now it should trade a little bit lower. So basically it's the same idea as Bitcoin here. Let me just erase these because this is confusing me. So this support is pretty good. And I've got bids throughout all of it. I think I even have them as low as this low right here, if I'm being honest, a little bit past it. So it's a wide level. Should probably play it with spot or very low leverage. But any dips into this region, I have bids throughout all of it currently. So I'd love for it to go all the way down and really scare people. If you start seeing bears celebrating, then you know it's time to reverse. And I'm looking for this. And for the upside, it's like around 2,000, I believe is what my target is. I probably still have the targets here because it's been the same ones for a while. Yeah, 2035, 2047. And then I would probably be fully out by then, maybe like a tiny percent of it, just in case it like liquidates some shorters. So that's a plan for Ethereum. I did want to go over one more for you guys, and I have it over here, Lido. So I'm already in this one from down, but I have a new trade for like fresh trades and compounding it. And it's the same concept, right? So I'm just bidding this entire box, and I have a manual stop loss if it starts trading below daily, below this 169, whatever that is, 17. If I start getting closes below here, I'll get out. But excuse me, it's all lining up with the same stuff I've been pointing out today. This big daily order block area going into the daily trend. And you see the upside targets. I'm looking for at least 245, which is these highs right here, which I think ARB and Lido will be beta to Ethereum, but you never know. I'm playing them both, all three. That is it for me.
Cool beans. All right. Thank you, Eddie. And now we're going to move over to legacy markets with GForce. Take it away.
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to do the legacy markets, and like always, start off with the S&P 500. So we'll get to that here. Things are looking really good. Things are moving up significantly on the S&P 500 and the other markets, as you guys can tell. The month of October is over with, and we're pumping forward, moving up. So if we look here at this is basically end of October. The last full week of October right here was the low. Then last week, it just ran up. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all the way to Thursday. Now Thursday was key because I wanted to see if it go up to the standard deviation line, which it did right here at 42.6, and it opened there. It gapped up on that open, and then it just ran up. So if you look at the daily dose on Stock Saturday, you'll see the weekly S&P 500 options, and last week it was 5 for 5. It was an incredible bull week, incredible profitable week. Everything was great. Not one hiccup. I had a 5x, 4x's, and then also a double on top of that. So that right now on the technical side, we're looking at this week. Okay, so it did clear that 4,300 mark. And so now we're looking at this last recent high, which was over here on October 12th. Okay, and at 43. So today we're hitting at that point and then pulling back. So that wick hit it right here, but we'll see where that goes today. The news today that I was looking at was the U.S. trade deficit, and that number came in pretty much within expectations. So we're not really interested in that anymore. The market was looking for any kind of divergence, and there really wasn't. The market's climbed a little bit, but not a huge amount at that time. Okay, we'll move on to NASDAQ. And the NASDAQ are pretty much similar. We can see that it's gone up last week, just like the S&P. Right now, it's hitting this recent high, okay? I have marked here at 15,264. So it's trading around there, like the S&P, that recent high. We're going to see if we can break that or it's going to pull back. Right now, it's hard to tell. You got to see what the market's going to do. A lot of times, it's better to just wait and see what the market's going to do than to try and jump on it and be wrong. So patience is a little bit key here. We got it because we're at key points, key tops here, and see if it pulls back. If it runs, it's going to go to this 2x band right here, which is basically at 15,488. If it drops, we're looking for it to drop all the way back down to the standard deviation line of 14,807. Moving on to the Dow Jones 30, it's the same type of situation, but there's a little bit thing different with the Dow Jones 30, okay? The purple line here, or the purple rectangle, is a gap that's not been filled, okay? And the markets always like to fill in gaps. So going off of this, I'm thinking the Dow is probably going to fill this gap in fairly soon. A week, 2 weeks, it could be 3 weeks. But the cautionary thing is that we have some recent gaps. Like last week between Wednesday and Thursday, the gap on Thursday's jump, and then we also have a gap down here too. So the question is, which gap's going to get filled in first? There's a bullish gap up here or these bearish gaps down here. It's not a question where they will be filled in, they will. It's just a matter of which one gets filled in first. Moving on to the dollar index, when we're looking at this, you could see that last Friday was just a huge drop, okay? And that could be a reason why ETH is pumping, other cryptos are pumping, altcoins are pumping. I think so, but we'll move on from there. You can see that it went all the way back down beyond the 3x lower band, right down here. And then yesterday it's come back, and then it's also come back and it's reached past this recent low, which was back on October 23rd, right here. So it's breaking that. Is that going to be a head fake where it continues to go up and maybe up to the standard deviation line and then comes back down below the 105.59 line? I don't know. Right now, I'm looking at it. I just follow the dollar index just to see what effect it has on crypto. So if crypto keeps pumping, then this is just going to be a head fake and then back down, probably back down to the 2x Bollinger Band right here, the lower band on that. So moving on, we're going to look at the US $10 yield. Okay. This basically has not done much. It wanted to form, I'll make it look a little bit better here. I was questioning whether it would form a double bottom. Okay, is it going to form a double bottom? It looked like it was going to after yesterday's up bullish, a little bit of bullish, but now today it's back down. So again, it's good to be just a little bit late. Let the formations play out. Let the formations make the formation, not you dictating the formation, but let the market make its own formation, and then you just react off of that. So this is still, I don't think, is a double bottom. That's why I put a question mark right there. Double bottom, yes or no? I still don't know. It has the makings of it, but it needs to pretty much come back up. Maybe back to the standard deviation line at 4.78%. Not too sure on that. The deficit, the numbers coming in good or in expectations. I don't consider being 61 billion in the negative as good, but for the US, that's in expectations. So this probably could just go back down and dip below the first low, which was over here back on October 12th. Okay, the last one is gold. I'm going to look at. Anytime there's war, gold is always somebody keeps talking about it. It gets a lot of propaganda, things of that nature. I still think it is going to go to 2,000. I think certain things are going to happen, whether it's a third front for Israel, not only the Gaza front, but also the northern front with Hezbollah, and then there's also the Golan Heights, which would be a third front on the east of them. That's a possibility. But this 1980 level right here, as you can see, it bounced off of it, and then now it's broke. Today it's broke. So it did go down to the standard deviation line. I'll emphasize this. Again, all these charts are daily charts. I go off of the daily chart because I think that's king. It didn't quite hit that standard deviation line. Okay, that standard deviation line is 1955. So it came to it and it's coming back off of it. So right now it's floating between that level of 1980 and that standard deviation line. So again, this is all going to be news driven for gold, and that's all going to be off of geopolitics and the war that's going on. All right, that's the legacy markets. I'll turn it over back to Pepe.
Well, Beans, that's it for this week. As a DeFi-Logic server member, you can request chart reviews and discuss markets daily with other server members. If you're interested in our TradingView indicator strategies, test out our ETH and XRP strategies free during alpha and beta testing, and keep an eye out for upcoming Bitcoin scalp strategy. Join our server now. Early members get free server access for life and future discounts on additional products and services. We'll see you next Tuesday at 12 p.m. Mountain Time. GM, friends.
Join us next week in Discord for TA Saturday at DeFiLogic.com.